Hey guys, it is Heather Coley here with Real Estate Life and Lessons Learned. And today's video is going to be, so how do you choose the best real estate brokerage? I have got 4 different types that I'm going to talk about today. We're going to go into a little bit of the mom and pop small brokerages, the big name brokerages, the franchise type. And then we'll also go into maybe the builder brokerages that are, if you're just going to work new construction and work for a builder, and then more of the virtual brokerages where you really don't have an office and you kind of working from home. So I am excited to teach you guys all about the different types of brokerages so that you can pick the one that is best for you. So stay tuned. So the first thing when you're just trying to put your head around all this is you really have to sit down and get you a little, book from Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Ross, wherever, get you a little $5 journal and somewhere that you can write down your real estate ideas. And what you want to do is really think about, what are you looking for in a brokerage? What kind of things are important to you? So I'm going to read out a couple just so that you can kind of think about it, because ultimately there's no perfect brokerage out here. It's really which one makes the most sense for your life. And to be honest, I look throughout the last 16 years of doing real estate, and at different times, those different types of brokerages is exactly what I needed, and I've learned something from all of them. So I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm saying you only want to do this, because it might not be the best for you. So, or at, like I said, at that time of your life. So anyway, so what are things that are important to you in a brokerage? Some things to think about. Are you looking for a brokerage that is big on training? And I think as a new agent, that is something that's very important. So if you do not have a mentor or somebody that is going to work hand in hand with you on, your first several transactions, I really do think you need to be with a brokerage that offers some really good training, because that is where you're going to learn. And being in an office, listening to the way that agents talk to their clients on the phone and how, just how they do it. I mean, that helped me more than anything, just listening to the words they say so that I then knew what to say. Another thing to think about is, are you looking for a office or brokerage that is going to give you office space? Is that important to you? Like, I've had my own office in a brokerage, before, and that was great. And now I say I work from, an island, the kitchen island in my house. And so it really depends, what do you feel like in your personality? What's going to work best for you, and what do you need? Another thing to think about when you're interviewing brokers is, okay, who supplies the signs? Who supplies the lot boxes? Will they buy you some business cards? I mean, all these little different things that are going to cost you money. I mean, is that something the broker's going to supply, or is that going to be something you're going to need to buy on your own? So that's things to consider. Also, board affiliation. Is the broker that you're going to, that you're talking with, are they affiliated with a local board? And, is that important to you or not? And that is going to be, of course, to determine that you can say, I'm a realtor or I'm a real estate agent. So that's something to think about. Also, say strong community presence. Is it important that the brokerage that you're with, that they've got a strong community presence, that they're very active in the community? These are all things to just consider and think about when you're going out interviewing, because you as the agent get to go interview the brokers. And other things to think about of course, is going to be the commission split. I mean, a lot of times that's a huge part of it, but that's just a part of it, because there are many, like I said, the training and other things might be something that's very important to you that are, you know, just as much as the commission. So just things to think about. Okay, so let's just get into the mom and pop brokerage. I have experienced this several times and I loved it. I mean, we would have sales meetings. We'd go on agent caravan together every Wednesday. Everybody would load up in the cars and go out together. I mean, you really felt like these people were your family, and that, you know, they were some of your biggest cheerleaders and supporters. And like I said, it was really good times. I would say that's the advantages of it. And if you can find a good, you know, small brokerage where they really do care about each other, and there's not any of, you know, the backstabbing or the yuckiness that can go along with real estate. But if you really do find a good one, it can be such a treat, you know, to go there, because like I said, you feel like, I mean, these are your family and your friends that you're getting to, you know, learn from, hang out with. So the things that sometimes I guess can be a little bit challenging in those is a lot of times they're maybe not, I want to say, like as forward thinking as some of the bigger franchise brands. And I think a lot of it just has to do with, you know, big leadership and, you know, training and that sort of thing. So, but it just all goes back to who's leading the ship, you know, at the small brokerage. So, and it can really be, you know, one way or another, to be honest. So it's just really finding the right fit for you. So as far as a small brokerage, a lot of times they'll have good splits on their commission plans, and it's usually pretty cut and dry. You might have an office fee each month that you got to pay. Some of them will also want you to pay your own Georgia MLS, you know, fees. And then you have a decent, like I said, split that can happen. Moving on into the next type of brokerage, which is franchise style, or I'd say like, you know, your big names like RE/MAX, Keller Williams, Berkshire Hathaway, Century 21, Better Homes and Gardens, all those types. So the things that I think that are so great about those are, you can still have that sense of family, but there's a lot of times a lot more people like in the office. So, so you can learn from more people, of course. And they do have like the monthly sales meetings, you know, where you get to kind of be around everybody. And they're very good usually at giving awards and recognizing, you know, people and their success. And the training, like I said, is usually very, very good. And there's usually a lot of training that comes along with the bigger names. Now, the thing to know about the bigger names is going to be I would say the commission splits are going to be, maybe they're going to start a little bit lower, and then of course, then you can kind of move yourself, you know, up through the ladder. One thing to think about and to ask is, okay, what happens after I've kind of moved up through the ladder over the first year? Like, am I going to then start back like low and then I have to work myself back up again? I mean, I would really ask that question with any broker that you go to, so you really understand the commission splits. The thing to think about in the bigger companies is they're going to have things called franchise fees, which are going to be, they can be like 6 to 8% of your commission check. So when you get that commission check and it comes back to the office, and then they're going to, you know, cut you a check, not only is the broker going to be taking their split, but you're also going to be paying a 6 to probably 8% franchise fee. And then some of the brokers will even they'll even charge what's called transaction fees. So say per transaction, you might have another $50 or another, you know, $75 come out. So those are things to think about with the bigger names. I mean, you're going to have a couple of more things that are probably coming out of your check. But of course, you're with the bigger name. also with the bigger names, they a lot of times have different kind of lead services that they, that you can kind of get involved with and things like that, so that, but make sure you understand, okay, if I take one of these leads and then I go to closing, exactly how's my check getting broke down? Because I would find a lot of times with new agents, they would be surprised when, more and more money came out of the check than they kind of expected. So the third type of brokerage that I'm going to hit on is going to be the brokerage that represents a builder primarily. And there's a lot of times you can be with even a big name or a small name broker and then also represent your builder. But I'm talking more of like the big name builders. And in our area, it might be like Jeff Lindsay. And I'm not exactly sure how, say, Horton Homes works, but they might work this way too. And what I'm talking about is that those agents, a lot of times, and I don't want to say this is how it definitely is, but a lot of times, those agents are only allowed really to work within their community. So say, for instance, a buyer comes in and they spend a lot of time with them, showing them around the neighborhood and, floor plans, et cetera, and then they all of a sudden decide, well, wait a minute, I think I want to go look at this resale down the road and look at it, or a resale even in the same community. Some of those agents that work for the builder are not going to be allowed to go represent that buyer on another transaction. So if you are going to really investigate being an agent like for new construction, that'd be some questions I would ask, is what happens when your family member comes to you and says, hey, I need you to come, help me find a house. Are you going to be able to, or are you not going to be able to? So, just think something to consider. Now, the fourth, and right now this one really is my favorite. I guess I'm a little bit partial, but is more of like the virtual broker. And these type brokers don't really have an office that you're going to go to and say, set your laptop up and go get your, coffee. This is going to be more the type that, yes, the broker support is definitely there. And like I say, I'm just speaking from my broker because I've got some really awesome broker support where I'm at Southern Classic. But these types of brokers are going to be, a lot of them are still very involved with the boards. So you've still got that. And they are awesome as far as if you want to call them up and, get their help, like on something that you're, in the middle of, as far as, things happen with real estate and you need, the broker's advice a lot of times. But these are more for the folks that are kind of like, I want to do my own thing. I kind of know how to do real estate now, and there's always going to be something to learn. So I don't want you to ever think that I'm like, I know it all. No, I do not know it all by any means. But, it's more for, I feel like, the agents that maybe have a little bit more experience and they've kind of learned some of the ropes. Or it could even be for the person that maybe also like knows an agent that's like that and wants to work with them. So these type of brokers are awesome because you a lot of times can get all your commission. And there's not the splits. And that's where I'm at with my broker. We pay a flat fee each month and then we get 100% commission, which is pretty cool because then you really feel like you've got your own business. And you're not being micromanaged. You just email over your contracts and then, and I really feel a lot of freedom with this. And I'm not running the roads unless if I'm out showing real estate. So I like it because I can work from home now and I'm just loving it right now. So now, like I said, it's not for everybody. Some people really want to be able to go into the office. And if you're that type of person, that's totally okay. And it's understandable because it's not for everybody. So, but right now I am loving it, and I'm very thankful that I'm getting to experience this now. So that is, it does take a little bit more getting used to if you're more the type that you're wanting to be around people all the time as far as like other agents. But I will say, when you're not in the office with everybody, because everybody gets to be good friends and you just love to talk, and agents love to talk. So I can honestly say I a lot of times get a whole lot more done when I'm by myself and focused. And like I said, just working from home. So anyways, so I hope that, and with the virtual broker, no, I'm not doing any kind of franchise fees or anything like that. It's pretty cut and dry. So anyways, I hope that you guys have learned something from this video. I really didn't mean for it to be quite so long, but I'm hoping that you got a little bit more of a taste for the different types of brokerages that are out here, so that you can make a good decision for yourself of what is the best brokerage to go with. So please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and I am excited to share more things with you guys in the future.